Go ahead.
Really? You had one job.
Sorry. I swear I
Stop
pressed
playing
it.
with that.
I'm sorry, I pressed it.
Welcome to Beyond the Shadows podcast, hosted by Haunted Souls. Apparently, she keeps playing with all the buttons.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's May 7th.
Episode 16.
Episode 6. I know my job. May 16th, episode 16th, season 2. Now you got me all things.
It's not my fault.
Stop playing with the button. Leave the buttons alone. I get you a fancy microphone, you got to play with all the buttons and stuff. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So, anything?
Weather. It's been warm.
I don't know. I've been like in and out. I haven't really been outside.
I
went from the house to the job, and I got home last night about 12:30 from the job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been in the house working, and stuff.
It's been very rainy. Apparently, we had a tornado warning at like 4 a.m. I slept. Yeah, slept. Tornado could have came through the house, or we would have all still been asleep. We are such heavy sleepers. Yeah. The tornado could have. Hey, I would have been safe. I'm in the basement.
Yeah, that's technically true.
I didn't have to move.
Other than that, weather.
Rainy.
Hot. It's getting close to that summer days.
Yep.
2 weeks. Let's see what we got going on.
Yeah.
This is our last week. Next week we'll have hopefully Steve, I think it was. I was overwhelmed with names last night. I started a new job last night, and as a bartender at an Elks Lodge, and I was introduced like everybody. Hey, I'm so and so, and I was like, I'm just bombarded with names like Dave and Lester,
and then doing all the
Ryan.
Podcast guests that we have the list. And
then yesterday I had put out a post on one of the paranormal sites about, hey, we got a podcast, we're looking for guests, and like I was flooded like 70 messages, and I had to like turn off the things. So we are booked out until November 19th. So we have guests. I don't have to worry about it though, finding anybody. As long as someone don't cancel like this last week. So our guest tonight, thank God, she was one that responded, and she was able to come on at short notice. Which we appreciate.
Yes.
So we're guest out. We have paranormal groups. We have building owners. They're coming on.
Yeah.
We're going to have 2 weeks back to back of international.
Yeah.
We'll have one guy from Surrey, England on, and then a group of ladies from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a little international thing. I was talking to that guy from Surrey. I was like, are you sure it's going to be like midnight your time to do this podcast?
You do realize we're in the Midwest of the United States.
He's like, oh, that's fine. We'll be all right. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all good.
You're like, dude, you do realize there's a big time difference.
We had one from Australia too, but I didn't hear nothing back from them yet.
Man.
So
that's really cool though. I'm just gonna be mesmerized the whole time. Like,
that's cool British accent.
Yes. This week, first guest on the comments is Aunt Kathy. She said, "Hey y'all, hello."
Pizza night.
Brandon said, "Hello."
What's up, Brandon?
Jesse said, "Hey."
What's up, Jess?
Lauren said, "Happy Tuesday, y'all." I always say y'all instead of all. Y'all. Susan, she said, "Hi." Hello.
What's going on, Susan?
Aunt Kathy said, "Let's get spooky." Jeannie said, "Hi guys, hello."
What's going on, Jeannie?
Philly said, "What's good,
up,
fam?"
Philly? What's up?
Philly's early this week.
Yes. What's up, Philly?
Mudrat Chuck said,
Chuck?
Tuesday. But yeah, no. Excited. We're excited.
So
our year's starting to pick up.
Yeah, so we'll have Steve or Tom. I can't remember which one it is.
Sorry to the future guest.
I think his name was, I can't remember now. But he will, he's the guy that runs the Lots House. Mm-hmm. And we'll be there on the 18th.
Yep.
It's the Lots House and Battleground.
Yep.
Which will be our first battleground that we've done.
Yeah.
We haven't done much.
Yeah.
With battlefields and stuff. And like I said, there was a actual war, civil war there. One of the battles there. I wouldn't say war, but one of the battles. Lotz family, just to brief, the Lotz family knew this was coming. They knew that the battle was coming their way, and they had taken some other people in the neighborhood, and they went into a shelter for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then when they came out of the shelter, they said there was just bodies all over the place. They're like 6 feet tall of dead bodies.
Yeah.
And stuff. And they turned their house into a makeshift hospital.
Yeah.
And there's actually still like blood stains on the floor that stained the floor that's still there.
Definitely taking our UV lights.
I don't know if you want to take the UV lights. That's a little weird. Like, there's stains here, there's stains over there.
I think it's just like we've talked about it. We've talked about it with like kind of your like it's going to be a whole new different type of investigating. So,
well, yeah. And one of the guests that are coming, his great grandfather fought in that battle and died on that battlefield. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a connection in that way.
That type of energy
that I really can't wait to see.
Yeah.
That, that his grandfather passed away there, and that we can, possibly, and everybody kind of knows Heidi, and it's Heidi's roommate, Christopher.
Yeah.
And if you've been to our KC metaphysical fairs that we've been there and stuff like that, Christopher's always running around with the Haunted Souls Paranormal shirt. Your Aunt Lita and them were like, there was some guy down the lot. We were at the casino in March. We were at the casino here in St. Charles, and she came upstairs. She's like, there was some guy downstairs in the lobby wearing your shirt. I was like, some guy wearing our shirt? What? And then we walked around. She's like, yeah, that guy right there. I was like, oh, that's Christopher. But he's always walking around with our stuff on and stuff. So
we appreciate it. But yeah, so that's kind of the next couple weeks, and then we go on
a hiatus of events.
Yeah, we do.
We don't have a public event until August. No. But we have
a lot of other things going on. We have
some Paracons that we're at, some speaking events,
trying to get into our new
festivals, working on some new locations to here around us to get into.
Yeah.
Do some more events and stuff like that. I got a list of places. I did tell you last night, one of the gentlemen that works for the school district, High Ridge, says there is a school that's shut down and nobody will go into the school in High Ridge. Some little kid was killed there, and it's like they think it's haunted, and no one will go into the school. Like the janitors, none of them don't like to go in there. And I'm like, give me the keys.
We're right there. We're in High Ridge. We will.
So, and then the Elks Lodge that I work at, it's haunted too. Yeah. So they want us to do an event there.
Yeah. So we're going on hiatus, but we're not really hiatus. It's not like we'll still be doing the podcast. We'll still be doing all that. So it's like, it's event hiatus, but it's not really hiatus.
And then May 28th.
May 28th.
Everything, get used to this for what, 2 more?
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks. We will be moving our studio to St. Louis Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
If Madison gets her gear, we'll have a whole new intro. Hopefully, and everything with the whole new podcast, new location, and everything like that. So yes, we'll be at the Haunted Mansion. We'll be at a haunted location doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We got our first piece of furniture that took to the studio.
Yeah, it was my chair.
Yeah, her chair. So
my comfy white chair.
We're getting it. We're starting to do it. I think we're going to have a party on the 25th. If anybody would like to help get the studio together, come on down to the mansion. We might do some investigating afterwards, after the studio set up and stuff like that. So we'll do some ghost hunting that night and everything. Yeah. So,
but with that, we'll bring on our guest for this week.
You got the floor. Do it.
Hello.
How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
And it is pronounced y'all.
Y'all. Thank you.
Y'all.
I don't know why. I live in, St. Louis, so it's not like Southern Missouri, but every time I see all, I say y'all.
Y'all. Yeah, y'all. I've been saying y'all for all my life.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't live in Tennessee until 2021. So
well, there's a lot of people. I have to be, not to be just you, but a lot of people in Tennessee are ghost hunters. We got a lot of people from Tennessee that
I can tell you it's because of the history here. The history here is just utterly amazing.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere you go, it's going to be historic.
I mean, we've had you on. We've had, and I don't know if you know the other ones. We've had Paranormal Trio, which is from Tennessee. Yeah. Night Song Paranormal, Barbie. And
my baby.
Yes.
That's my Barbie.
Yes, I love them.
That's my
I was
Barbie
just talking
girl.
to her the other day because we're going to be in Tennessee in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to be we're going to be at Nashville at the fairgrounds.
Nice.
For the Galactic Expo there, the big metaphysical fair there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do them exclusively. They kind of, so we do their, like, we have a booth there with all of our merch and stuff, and then we do their ghost hunt for them on Saturday nights.
Oh, cool
stuff. So
awesome.
we travel around with them. So I was trying to hook up with her. I was like, "Hey, you guys in town?" They're like, "No, we're out of town that weekend." I'm like, So
yeah.
You want to introduce yourself and what got you started in the paranormal?
Oh gosh, let's see. Well, I'm Kelly Shaffer, and if you don't know me, that's your fault. First time I've tried that one.
Hey,
but I like it.
That's good.
So anyway, I started in the paranormal about 2010 when my daughter wanted to go ghost hunting. And so we went ghost hunting, and it stuck with me and it didn't stick with her. So here I am. So I've been doing this now for 15 years. I mostly specialize in, well, let's step back a few steps here. My team is a science-based team. We do not do jump scares. We do not do any kind of funny stuff that I see people doing. We're purely science-based. We try to debunk before we even begin to start to claim something's paranormal. And then from there, my team is about 12 people at this point, and I think I'm going to keep it there for right now because it's a little bit too much. So let's see. The paranormal thing, it is a lot of people. It's a lot of people. And the most we've had on an investigation at one point is 7 of them. So it takes a lot to get all of us at one point.
Yeah.
I've branched out from there to the first thing that I did last year was to write a book about some of my experiences in the paranormal. It's a book called The Paranormal Pages, Collection 1, because there will be a Collection 2.
Possibly 3 to 4.
It's a joke for me, the word "do." So it was awesome that my publisher picked Collection 1. And I said, then there's going to be a Collection 2. And she was like, what? And I had to tell her the story. But the first book is 24 stories. And the second book, I already have 18 stories saved up for that one. So I just got to get to writing it. Then from there, I've branched out to doing events and being an event manager, an event planner. I will also host events for investigators, anywhere from the public who know nothing to experienced investigators that just want to get into bigger locations. And it's via that desire to get into bigger locations that I've networked with a lot of the area investigators, and I say, look, we're doing Waverly. Well, actually, the one that we're doing right now is Brushy. Brushy's one of those ones that you need a lot of money to get into that joint.
Yeah.
So I gathered together a whole bunch of people that I really, really, really love, and we are going out and doing Brushy Mountain.
There you go.
And we're also going to be deploying some investigation equipment that has not been on the market yet. We're still developing it. I'm working with a gentleman by the name of Shane Feek, who is really, really good with the equipment. And he's developing a piece of equipment that we're nicknaming the ET, because it's going to be just, from the data that he's getting at this point, it's going to knock everybody's socks off when it's finally perfected. Yeah. We can actually see energy entering a room, and it will define between that energy and the energy of the investigators.
Oh, cool.
Wow. So yeah, it's impressive. It is impressive.
And then that's the thing too, is I found like doing this and like with other like newcomers and stuff, like, you know, people that haven't investigated, they want to see that, you know, they want to hear
And
the voices,
you'll be
or they
able
want to
to
see something,
Mhm.
you know, they like the lights and the cat balls and stuff, but they always like, what can I see? Like, I want to see something. I want, you know, and that would be kind of cool to be able to see something, you know.
Yeah. Because when you think of paranormal, like someone a paranormal investigator, you think that they've seen apparitions, they've seen energy, they've seen, like, you think like, oh, blah blah blah. And I feel like, yes, there are some people that have seen those apparitions, but there's a lot more that haven't. They're like, oh, well, I have this evidence and this evidence, but I haven't seen a full, like me, I haven't seen a full apparition. You have. So that's what people want to see when they go to these places, and they're like, oh, I want to see it. I want to see it. And you're like,
right.
I want it. I wish you could.
Yeah.
I wish I could just.
And that's what I mean, like with the phasmophobia and the necrophonic.
One thing I found out on our last investigation, our last investigation was last Saturday, and we were investigating the workplace of one of our teammates, and the teammate our teammate's Pamela, and Pamela works at this place where it is probably haunted. We're not completely sure yet, but so far the data is indicating that it is. And Pamela is an extremely gifted person, and she is she's to the point of being gifted that I don't know what to do with her. She sees things full on. Our first indication of her being gifted was we were at the Octagon Hall, and she looked in a baby bassinet and saw a dead baby and woke up, quote unquote, 10 minutes later out on the front lawn when we're trying to get her grounded. She at this location saw 2 apparitions, and she was the only one that saw them. So what I'm seeing here with what she's doing and what she's experiencing is that we all see things on different levels. For instance, there's some people out there who will never see a full-bodied apparition because they're not on that frequency. They're not on that beat. And then there's others that would see this, and they're not going to see this, and they'll see this, and they'll see this, but they won't see this.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I found very interesting at the last investigation, that none of us saw what Pam saw, but she saw something that was so moving to her that there's no way anybody could have ever faked the response that she had.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of like when we were at the hall at ISS, and me and Andrew and Nikki were sitting there. We're like, we see that person sitting, like, staring back at us, the shadow, and you're like, and everyone else is like, I don't see anything. And then we went back later, and I showed you the photo, and you're like, oh, I see it.
Yeah, I saw it there.
Yeah, but when we were in person, but
and the camera caught it, and
yeah. So your friend Pamela, we met, and like going to these metaphysical fairs and these paracons that we go to, and we get a lot of people that want to tell their stories, and paranormal group, and they want to come up and stuff. And
let me tell you about this.
Yeah, and then we get a lot of, and it's funny is that a lot of these parents are like, oh, my kid's weird. I'm like, what do you mean she's weird? And they're like, well, here, let me tell you. And we had a lady, she was a teenager.
Yeah.
And this is the one in Kansas City.
Yeah.
When you were, she's like, yeah, I see like people. And I'm like, okay.
I see dead people.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, there's a man standing over there with his feet up against the wall, just watching everybody walk by. And I'm like, where? I'm like, and she's like, right there. And I'm like, you see like a full person. And she's like, yeah, she's standing there. He's looking at me right now. And I'm like, that is just...
it's that kind of stuff that I'm also thinking that there are so many people who were and still are put into mental institutions for what they see and somebody else doesn't see. Yep. How many people have been put away in an institution who are like Pamela and your friend and everybody that I work with? You know, they see stuff that we all don't see. And that still doesn't mean that what they see is not real. It is real to them.
Yeah.
So, and my question to that, and we were talking about that too, is how do you know that we don't see that? How do we know that the people that we see is really
people that
are alive? How do we know that we might see dead people too, but we don't like say hi to everybody we see? You know, we don't say, hey, do you see that guy sitting in that chair? Hey, do you see that kid riding a bicycle? You know what I'm saying? We don't ask each other that. How do we know that we don't see dead people too, but we just don't know?
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah. I mean, I have often wondered how many people that I see on the street are actually real people.
Yeah.
Because I read this one article where it's like 3 or 7 people, I can't remember how many it was, on average are not real people that you encounter in your every day. They're full body apparitions that are solid. And I know several locations that have solid apparitions.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, like when kids are little and they see things, they don't know who is supposed to be there at the house and who is not.
Correct.
So when you're an adult and when you go through puberty, you're like, okay, I know who's supposed to be here. So your mind's closed off. When you're in your everyday life, you don't know who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be there. So your mind is in its most open space of in public.
If I walk in the living room, I see a man sitting in my chair, then I know that hey, that's an apparition because you're not supposed to be here. You know, but like you said though, but in your everyday life,
like you're not gonna know.
You're driving home, you're on the road at 1 o'clock in the morning, coming home from work or whatever, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, a guy on a bicycle appears.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, wow, I didn't see him before. But we just keep driving thinking, well, that guy's going to get hit because he's got no lights on.
Yeah.
You know, that's all we think as we drive.
Who was just talking about the story of when they were driving through their, it was one of the ladies from Blonde's Boots. Was it Krista? She was talking about when she was driving through her town, she saw a man walking on the side of the road. And she was like, oh, okay, well, that's not too normal. And then when she looked back in her mirror, he wasn't there.
He was gone.
He wasn't
so
there.
she was like, at first, she thought a guy was just walking on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So what kind of wanted you to change your stories into a book? What kind of
your
adventures and all that? Like
change your stories. I don't know you mean put her stories in
there. Change my what?
Her experiences in the stories. There you go.
Yes.
That is a very defined moment. I had been laid off from my job, and I was trying to figure out what to do with my time because nobody was taking mortgage people at that point. So it was one of those really, really bad layoffs. So I was trying to figure out what to do with my time. So I decided that I wanted to write my book. And I have wanted to write a book my entire life, and that is not an exaggeration. From the moment I was able to put pen to paper, I've wanted to write a book. So I started trying to write my book, and I would only get 2.5 pages on every single attempt. Every single subject, every single book, only 2.5 pages, period. So I called up my friend Jim, and I said, hey, I know there's a book in me. I know there is. I feel it. I can't get it on paper. And he goes, well, why don't you just take all of your experiences in the paranormal and put them in a book? I'm like, you mean write an entire book of short stories? And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes, boom. And there's the Paranormal Pages. So I whipped through that. I think I had that written in 4 months, and it was out to the first editor on month 5, came back on month 7, and I reworked it entirely and got it off to the publisher in December or January of this and last year, and it was published on February 14th.
Wow. I give props to I'm like you when I do essays. I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm on a roll. And I get halfway through and I'm going, oh no, I'm lost.
No, I've got to tell you, the scariest part of writing something is having all of your thoughts and feelings out there with the public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll never be able to hide anything from anybody ever again.
No.
Well, at least with your stories.
She's got the sketch face on.
Yeah.
You're like,
no. You know what that look is.
No, I don't know. Really, I don't. Yeah, that
so
was
true.
the scary part. It was because there is one story in there that is extremely close to my heart and is very, very hard for me to write because I really wanted to write it, but the inside of me that likes to hide everything that I've gone through just was struggling to put the words on the page. And I may have cried 3 or 4 times when I was putting that one together. It's a story about my awakening and how I had it ready to go. I was all ready to commit suicide. And then I had an angel or a guardian angel or whatever it is that she was.
Yeah.
Came in and said, nope, not your time. And she put me on firmly, I should say, on the path that I'm on right now.
Yeah.
So
it's
a very private thing that's now been made very public, and it's been okay.
Yeah. I'm glad that you were able to feel okay to express that and put it on pages, and you found the way that was right for you to be able to do that.
And that's been something that has been my drive since 2018 is to be an advocate for mental illness and mental health. And May is Mental Health Month. Yeah. So it's important that we all take the time to actually go out and do something that is going to make us healthy on the inside.
Yep. I could not agree more. So what kind of now you are want to talk a little bit about the podcast that you kind of do.
Yeah. Love my podcasts.
Yeah.
The first one, I started as a podcaster about a year ago. Just quite frankly, it was purely by accident. JD Hill had contacted me and said, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" I'm like, "Sure. What day do you want me? What time? What do you want me to talk about?" And he's like, "No, you don't get it. I want you to co-host." I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" And we started up our podcast, and I just fell in love with podcasting. My dad was in radios for decades. He worked for Collins Radio Company, and it's in the blood. Yeah. So that completely awakened that part of me. And then David Taylor calls us up and says, "Hey, y'all want to do a podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, sure. What do you want to talk about?" He says, "Anything." And that's where it came up that we take turns picking the topic for our podcast.
Yeah.
And that became the Paranormal Triangle. And then Cemetery Files. We're still trying to figure out what we're doing with that one, JD Hill and I, but we just put out a new episode yesterday. We've decided to kind of focus on our Monday morning phone calls because we always talk to each other on Monday mornings, and they turn out being these absolutely fascinating conversations. And I've stopped him so many times throughout the years going, "We need this on recording. It needs to get recorded." So now when we start getting really intense and talking about the things that are actually could spur other people to go out there and could spark other people to go out there. Could spark other people to go out there and do something. We're like, "Oh, stop! We got to put this up. We got to record this." So we started an episode. So yesterday we started an episode on one of our phone calls, and it ended up being. I'm hearing people tell me that it was actually pretty good. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Some of those are the best shows that we just,
I know, I love them.
I like, we just talk to a guest, and it's just
I love talking.
And everybody's like, "Oh, that was a great show." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I didn't really,
And that's the thing, like, we do, like, we don't really, like, we're not like, "Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about this and this and that." Like, we don't set ourselves on a schedule because us two, we're just two people that go with the flow and, like, vibe with the whole conversation. So,
yeah.
Sometimes those are the best ones. Everyone's like, "Hey, guys, we love the podcast." I'm like, and it's funny because on days that we'll just sit here and us two talk, and we're father and daughter, so we banter back and forth. Everyone's like, "Oh, that was amazing." I'm like, you listen to us.
Yeah. It amazes me that people want to come listen to us.
He's always like, who wants to listen to just us two? And I'm like, and our listeners on the podcast picked every other week we have guests. And we're like, you want us to talk every other week? Just the two of us? Why?
Yeah.
And somehow they like it. I don't know why, but
I hate to break their hearts because it's not going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Because I had to book a lot of our one-on-ones are by ourselves to double guest up. So,
but that's it's everybody expressing their ideas. It's everybody talking about the possible, and it's just I love doing it. I'm not a big myself. I'm not a big talker. I'm actually very much an introvert, and I can come out of my shell every now and then, but I have to go escape back into my cave and just be myself. But when it comes to talking about the paranormal, I can talk for hours upon hours on the paranormal. If you want to talk theory and possibilities and hypotheses, I can't say the word today. I write better than hypotheticals. It's just it's I love doing it. I absolutely
and that was the whole basis of of our podcast.
Yeah.
Was that we really just wanted to get other paranormal groups, other building owners, just so they could get out here and spread what they do, and people can follow them and stuff like that. It was no, ulterior motive, we just want to get, this or what. And I have the hardest time to find building people that own buildings.
Yeah.
That want to come on and talk.
Do you got Bill?
Bill from
Broadhead.
Broadmoor. Yeah. I've actually talked to him because we met him at Dark Arts and Oddities convention.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And stuff like that. So yeah, I try to get other people. I was trying to get out West Coast because we do a lot of the Midwest thing, and we don't do a lot. Everybody sees Waverly and all those. And
you want West Coast people, huh?
And just something different. So I try to get a tour to the Winchester House. They never called that.
No, you're not going to get the Winchester. The Winchester, I actually have gone through the Winchester on a tour. That's a lot of how I get into historic places without being known as a paranormal investigator. I just go on a public tour. I went on a public tour of the Winchester House. I did not feel a darn thing anywhere in the building. The only thing I saw was a possible cabinet door shutting on its own. But if I had had a camera on it, I probably could have debunked it. It may be haunted. But in my opinion, it's not worth your time and effort.
I just
until they actually open it up. Yeah.
Well, that's just building owners that I try to get on to.
Not really
talk about your building and stuff.
There's a lot of places out there that they don't want you in there investigating.
No. I found that a lot lately.
Yeah.
They don't want to be known as haunted.
No, they don't. And there's a lot of times though that there are locations that, for instance, there's a location in Montana right now that is struggling because they let a paranormal group in, and the paranormal group decided to focus on what was not there, and that being demons. And evil. So now she's struggling to keep her business afloat because everybody thinks there's demons there.
Is that in Butte, Montana?
Anaconda, Montana.
Oh, okay. I know there's a hotel there in Butemont. Yeah, something like that. I might remember Montana and stuff like that.
I'll tell you though,
geography is not your number one.
If you want to go out on the West Coast and have a really, 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 really great time hunting ghosts, you need to go to Virginia City, Gold Hill, there's another gold one that's out there that's in Eureka, around the Eureka area. Gold Hill, I can't remember right now. But yeah, if you want to have a really, really great time, just go to Virginia City, Nevada. They completely embrace their paranormal history, and they just love having you there.
Well, and that's the thing too, is
because we spend a lot of money.
Yeah, we will. And it's I call these places, and you look up Google haunted locations in Kansas or whatever, and they'll be like, well, this hotel, and I'm calling them hey, I saw that, you're haunted. No, we're not. I'm like, it
No,
says
we're
on
not.
Google. Yeah, no, we're not.
No,
we don't
you're
have
not.
ghosts. I'm like, well, we would like to come. Nope, we don't do that.
Nope.
I'm like, you're missing an opportunity right now, mister. I'm like, do you understand the paranormal is huge right now? That's, you want to be known as paranormal right now. You can make so much more money than what. And like you said, though, most people, because I hate it, and I'll say it again, and I start hating it even more, and it gets me so aggravated. This demonic demon, I'm just over this stuff. This is
to begin
everybody
with,
says it. I don't understand why.
When you start working within that group, first of all, to have a demonic possession or a demonic episode is extremely rare.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, and the first clue that you'll have about it is nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Because that's the first hallmark to a demonic possession, is that no one's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the demons don't want you talking about what's going on. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be run out, so they're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So the whole demonic thing just needs to go away, because it's false. It's false advertising.
Yeah.
It's a lie. I have been involved in one case that was actually on the could have been, might not have been. But I didn't have
heavy
gemologists
ugly energy, dark. It
was ugly. Energy. It was interesting energy,
mm-hmm.
in that it didn't follow the usual protocol.
Mm-hmm.
It invaded one of my team members, and he started acting really weird, down to the point of where I'm questioning whether or not he was sane. Yeah. And ended up he was invaded. That's the only way I can put it, is he was invaded by negative energy.
Yeah.
So,
and I think too is it's this
and that's
culture
not a demon. It's not a demon.
Yeah, no. And I think it's
absolutely not.
It's this turn of culture in the paranormal of, I want everyone to click on my video. I want everyone to click on
That's
me.
all for clicks.
So it's all, there was a demon. We encountered a demon here. There was a demon here. We went to the demon house. We went to the, and that's what it is. And it's not demons there. And if you click on the video and you watch the video, they don't encounter anything demon. They don't.
No.
They say there's a demon, or I'm gonna go conquer the demon in the basement.
Well, and I might get bad press for this, and I'm gonna say it. TikTok has killed the paranormal world.
Oh yeah.
I don't give.
I don't
care what anybody. And we use TikTok for advertisement wise. We're not TikTok creators.
No.
We have a TikTok page and we advertise our events and stuff like that. And we go lives when we're at places sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're not going live every other weekend or every weekend or every other day and stuff like that. I mean,
half the time it's just us to do something.
I'll go on TikTok and it's just, oh, there's a demon. And, I'm like, oh my God, it's just everywhere. and that's the thing, is I think that word is clickbait. And
it's clickbait.
It's it's an engine.
Absolutely is.
And when you say that on it's engine drove word, that if you say that more and more, then it's your video is going to get put, because that demon, that's a key word that everybody wants to, and it's just, and like you said, that poor lady probably does not have any negative energy whatsoever in her business.
There may be a negative energy out there, but it's not a demon.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is like I tell people. There's negative, there's dark, and there's heavy. But I have not seen, if you're an asshole in your regular life, why are you not an asshole when you're, so that could be
you
negative.
You don't get happier with death.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get your choice. Like, hey, buddy, you're going to die. You're an asshole. What do you want to be now? Asshole or a good person,
There are every single kind of person that you encounter in your everyday living life, you will encounter in death life too. So
So if I met an asshole, if our neighbor's an asshole, I don't call him demonic. He's just he's negative, just an asshole. Or an asshole. So that's the negativity that you see, that and I think that they experience, and all of a sudden everybody just draws to that word of, as soon as anything bad or somebody gets touched or scratched, which I do believe that can happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that don't happen. And I'm not saying that things don't get thrown across the room.
I can tell you from one of the first groups that I was with back in the back days, a red Sharpie will look like scratch marks under red light.
Not like I want to do it, but I was like, that's interesting to know that.
No, I watched a woman do it. She put the scratch marks on her arm, and I'm like, what are you doing? She says, they're going to look like scratch marks when we put the red light on them. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
To me, that's your word. That's your bond. If you get caught at being faking something, there's no coming back.
The leader of the group was sitting at the table it was before ghost apps were actually really known in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting there putting ghosts into pictures.
See, and that's the hard part about being a real paranormal team that like does really truly take their word and they're honest and they show out real evidence, because now people have gotten caught with so much fake stuff or put fake stuff out there. Now they're like, oh, that's not real. People lose their trust in the paranormal.
And we're like you guys. Like when something happens, we're not first ones to say, oh, it's paranormal. I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to debunk it. I'm going to do everything. And then when we finally try to debunk it and still we can't get it, then I'm like, okay, that could be paranormal. And I still don't even want to put my thumb on. I'm like, it's weird.
Not until you've exhausted everything.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and then, like I said, when we were in ISS, Indiana State Sanitarium, we sat in a hallway for about an hour and a half, and we kept seeing
2 hours.
Close to 2 hours.
I was like,
and
looking
we're
down
sitting
the hallway.
there, and we're seeing stuff. But I kid you not, half the time it's probably us going, okay, what was that? What was that? What could that be? What was that?
Well, and then we had 4 different people walk down the hallway and walk back.
We kept recreating
to see if the shadow was following. Or if a shadow was, that person, there was no light. The light we had was back by us. So, I even walked down the hallway to see if that was my shadow was kicking off to see it. Because it looked like you could see the shadows running up and down the hallway.
Yeah.
And stuff. And we were just trying to figure if it was people behind us moving or what.
Well, and then one of the guests, he was walking down the hallway and it looked like somebody else was walking down the hallway with them. So then we were like, okay, somebody else go down the hallway and see if it just like your shadow comes right. You know what I mean? We were just trying to debunk it. And that's what we do, but not a lot of people do.
You see it, people are like, they're little REM pod, like little, because I don't like the round ones you get, right?
Yeah.
The new round red and black ones.
Make sure you get one that actually work, because there are REM pods out there where the antenna, 1, is not connected, and 2, if it is connected, it's connected to a solenoid on that, or I don't know what they're called, a node or whatever on the panel that's inside the thing that only it's connected to one of those that is just for random. It just does random light ups. And it's not actually attached to any kind of sensor whatsoever. So you got to be really careful with the REM pods.
Yeah, it's like the round ones, the red and black round ones they have. And you can adjust the sensitivity of it. And I've researched it and I've read it. And it says if that little blue light in the middle goes like blip, blip, it just kind of like blips, that means your sensitivity is too high. You need to turn it down because something's interfering with the sensitivity. But everybody, you'll see it on every video. They'll have it so high. You'll see that little blue. Oh, the REM pod's going off. I'm like screaming at my phone. I'm like, no, the sensitivity's too high. I'm like, it's not a go. It's not something. It's not, And they're like, oh, it's the REM pod. It's the REM pod. I'm like,
yeah, we have at the location that we had this last weekend. One of the reports was that I specialize in businesses. Businesses call me because employees don't want to go into a certain area.
Yeah.
So I come and work on that. And one of the things that they were reporting is that they hear whistles late at night. I'm like, okay. So we go in there and I'm sitting there in one of the businesses. There was 3 businesses all connected together. And I'm sitting in one of the businesses and I hear the whistles and I'm like, really? And I'm listening to it and it's long. I mean, it was a good long whistle, and it had variants like a human had been doing it. And then there was one before it that was shorter and one after it that was shorter. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But I also remembered that when I went to the bathroom earlier in the evening, when I flushed the toilet, the pipes also whistled. So I'm like, okay, let's take a look at this. So I'm listening to the whistle and I'm remembering what the pipes sounded like when I was in the bathroom. 2 entirely different whistles. The whistle from the bathroom, you can clearly figure out that that's a pipe whistle because it's all one tone and it lasts for a specific amount of time. Done. I'm done.
Yeah.
The one from the location, it was a short one and then a long one and then a short one, and it sounded like a human was doing it. So you have to go into these locations and you have to look at it and go, okay, what is here that could make that noise? And a lot of people don't know of all the mechanics that can happen in a building that can make noise, like fans and plumbing and electrical and fans turning off, fans turning on, all the timers that they have, all the thermostats that they have, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that can play a part in your investigation, and you need to know all the physics of the location before you can actually go in there and debunk stuff.
Yeah. You get amazed of when you're really quiet how loud a building can be. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It truly is. And how loud and how loud you can be too. Your stomach,
Your
stomach knows when you're quiet.
Your stomach is.
Your stomach knows when you're quiet. It's going,
it's
you're
so
quiet?
weird.
Okay.
I'm like, does my stomach make that noise all the time? I'm like, I don't hear that.
I'm like, my stomach.
Well,
my stomach.
I've caught evidence of parafart. No.
Hey, if they did it in real time, they did when they were alive.
Why would they not? Yeah.
I blamed it on a ghost.
Yeah. So the question that it's everyone's favorite, I think it's my favorite. If you could investigate anywhere, cost is completely free, no charge, anywhere in the United States that you would like to investigate, and anywhere outside. Anywhere outside of the United States.
Easy.
All right, go ahead.
I would go to Scotland and investigate with my cousins.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a cousin that lives in Scotland, and her husband are both investigators. And I would absolutely, hands down, I'd say yes, I want to go hunt with Peter and Anna Ling. Absolutely, hands down, no problem at all. They run already. They run Argyle Ghost Guides, and the only reason why I'm not in Scotland now is because the pandemic. I was all ready to go. I was poised, and I was ready to hit that button and buy the tickets and head off. And the pandemic hit, and it was 3 years of BS. So 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was. 3 years.
If I had someone over that I knew, I'd be like,
all right, let's go.
Yeah, I so want to.
If you want to go do Scotland, you need to contact Argyle Ghost Guides because A, they're ghost hunters and they know where to go, and B, they have an Airbnb you could stay at.
Oh, perfect.
I'd say right now, when I get on TikTok and I find overseas people on, like in England and stuff, those paranormal, I have they have some hand down scary looking buildings over there that they investigate.
So old.
And they're old and just like, I'm like, man, I want to go there. I'm like,
first
it's
of all,
different.
And the stories and the legends that they have about those buildings are crazy.
Absolutely.
I'm like, holy cow.
I'm like, that's why I'm like the guy from Surrey. I can't wait.
Oh, I can
see what stories he's got.
And then what's a place in the United States that you would love to investigate?
The United States, the one that's on my brain right now is the old hospital on top of College Hill.
Oh, College Hill?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the one that's on my brain right now. And there's a lot of people trying to divert me over to Pennhurst, but I'm like, nope, I want to do the old College Hill.
Penhurst is one of those ones I always forget about. Like it's a really known one, but I always forget about that one.
That's a pretty
big. I've done
some
some really amazing stuff, but those ones might actually tip me over the other edge. Yeah. But Brushy's one of the ones that I've really wanted to do, and I'm looking forward to that one in July.
Have you done Brushy before?
No. Mm-mm.
Have you done, like, was it old South Pittsburgh Hospital?
I'm doing that this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Are you?
With Ron?
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm doing the old Pittsburgh Hospital. Oh, yes.
He's coming on in July. He'll be on our thing talking about the hospital.
Yeah, I'm doing the old Pittsburgh Hospital this weekend, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's the second hospital I've done. The first hospital was, pardon me, a situation of where we were the first team to go in, and it was the Mare Island Hospital in Alameda, California. Not Alameda, Mare Island Hospital in Vallejo, California. And we had access to not only the hospital, but the psych unit that was behind it. And amazing.
I bet. Those places, the places that like you're like the first people to go in, sometimes those are the best places that you get.
Well, yeah, because they don't experience by the time you like. So Waverly's got so many people that have gone through it, and those spirits are kind of like, here we go again. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then
I can tell you, the psych unit didn't know what to do with us.
Yeah.
They had no clue.
Well, and like we've been to the Rock Island YMCA, and that was our first. They had never really had a lot of people.
I've done Rock Island. Yeah. Jay and I walked up those long stairs up to the 4th floor, and we're coming off of the stairs onto the floor, and we go to the edge of where you can take a right or you can take a left, and we both looked at each other and went, nope. And went right back down the stairs to the 3rd floor.
That place is weird. That place
is huge, man. I mean, just to think about all the places that you can go in that place is that place is huge.
Oh, it was
just not to cut you off, but think about it. That place was huge, right?
Yeah.
The YMCA in Alton.
YWCA.
The YWCA in Alton. It's the same way.
And
you could get lost by
you know why that is? Because they were probably designed by the same person.
Yeah, I mean, just so many different hallways that you can like go through this door and then you're down this hallway.
It's not like a hallway leading you somewhere. It's a doorway leading you to another room.
Right.
And I asked the people who I work with, because I work at the YWCA in Alton. I walk with people who do the ghost hunts. I asked them, I said, why is it? This is the second YWCA, YMCA that I've been to where it's like this. And they said it's because they would have their original building and then they would just add on to it. And they would add on it as they go, like talking room by room. They didn't build it as, okay, we're going to build this hallway, and then have the rooms there. They said, we're going to build this room, and this room, and then we're going to add on to it. So, but it's the same way. Rock Island, everyone's like, do you have a map? We're like, oh.
No.
I thought Rock Island was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They still had the track up on the top floor.
Yeah.
They had the track where they jogged on and everything, and the pools filled up, and I mean,
when I was there for that first Rock Island Paracon.
Last year?
Last year we were put down in the basement, and on setup Friday night, I was the only one in the basement, and I'm setting up our booth, and I'm watching all the spirits come out from that doorway that goes down into the boiler room. I'm watching all the spirits come out of that doorway and watch me set up the booth. And I'm like, really? You could just stay down there. I don't need you coming out and watching me.
Oh, man.
It's a great place. She's got a great place there.
She does.
And even though like she has all the furniture too there, I'm like, it's just
Lisa's pretty cool.
Yeah, she just get a bed. Lisa's pretty cool. She's like, you can just sleep in one of the beds, any of those beds you want.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
we're good.
We're good. I'm like,
yeah. Well, we had actually had the chance to investigate the building. I want to say it was 2 weeks before we went to the Paracon. So Jay and I were there for an investigation, and that was just crazy. We just lovely having the building all to ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and getting to know it and all that kind of stuff. But there were some things that were like, I don't think we want to do that.
Yeah.
Because it was just us two.
We had our weirdest experience at that place.
Oh,
really? What
So we went in June. We were in last June because they had asked us to come to the Paracon, but we had like Witches Night. Octobers are booked for us because we do Witches Night out here in St. Kimswick. We do the Apple Butter Festival.
Who's the witch?
Nobody's the witch.
No one's the witch.
No one's the witch. We just go to sell our merch, and
we
sell all kinds of stuff. I sell like voodoo dolls are crocheted. I make scrying mirrors. I make all kinds of candles and stuff like that. So
in other words, you're a witch and you don't admit it?
I could be.
Yeah.
Most people call me a different thing, not a witch, but you know. But we were there, and
I know a brother and sister when I see them.
Yeah. I'm a warlock, not a witch. So
you can be a witch. Men can be witches.
True. We had walkie-talkies on us to communicate because we set up in groups and stuff. So we had a walkie-talkie on the main floor on the table, so that way when people leave or we know they're going outside, they can talk to us and tell us that they're leaving. So we had the one on the main table, which was mine. I didn't have one, and then my son and another guy had their walkie-talkies on them, and we were just getting together to do a human pendulum.
Oh, that's fun.
And the guy said, all of a sudden on his walkie-talkie, it keyed up on the guy's walkie-talkie, and a male voice came through.
Oh,
on his walkie-talkie. We were like, it was just funny. Everybody was just like,
because only one walkie-talkie went off.
Yeah, not both.
I can debunk the walkie-talkie.
What's that?
The channels are accessible by other walkie-talkies. Correct. So it may not have been paranormal. We had the same thing happen last weekend. So,
but on one walkie-talkie, not on both.
Yep, it was on one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think those.
We tried it. We looked around and made sure like there was any police officers.
Yeah,
because we know like the police officers.
There's somewhere in range. We don't know where the ones were that we had on our walkie, but it's
but we were just so confused because we were like, first of all, it was like 3 a.m.
But it wasn't like a person like talking. Like it wasn't like a male like just talking like it was just weird. It was like a male voice, and then it stopped, and then we went upstairs again later on, and it did it again. Yeah. And it was just really weird.
It was like on one of them, and then it was at the very late in the morning.
But that's the one thing that we were coming up with was debunking it. Was that it was probably a police car that drove by because they're with their CBs and or somebody in the area. But you would have thought they would have done it more than once.
Ours was kind of sporadic, and it was on one walkie. We brought up another walkie just to see if we could catch it on the other walkie, and then we had 3 going at one point, and it was only one walkie that was picking it up. So it's possible. I mean, as much as the walkie-talkie set off equipment, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Sets off REM pods.
Sets off REM pods.
Yeah, sets off REM pods. Sets off tripwires. It sets off anything that has a sensor to it. It's going to set it off.
Yeah.
But
no, that place.
Yeah. Rock Island's really good. I like that place. I like Lisa.
Yeah, Rock Island's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lisa's really neat. And it's just the Rock Island Paracon's really a great venue, and if you want to go out there this year, they're going to do it again this year. I don't remember what the dates were.
I think it's September this time.
It might be, but I don't know. But if I remember correctly, the reason why I couldn't go out this year is because it interfered with another engagement that I had already booked.
Yeah, ours was. That's the thing was like we almost book out in December. We stopped the podcast in November, and then December I start booking our events for next year because they all book up if you don't, all the weekends is the first thing that everybody wants to, book up in these locations.
Yeah, my year's just starting. I did taxes this year, so my tax season ended on March 19th, and I'm just now starting to get going.
Yeah, so when I get in, and then
4 months.
Yeah, so I started booking all these things, and I know for one, because we have a town here in town. It's called Kimmswick, Missouri, and it's a small town, and they have big festivals, and they close the whole town, and they have merchants and booths and stuff like that, and they see thousands of people that come through these places. So like in June, they have a strawberry festival, which we set up a booth there, which is night out, which is one night event. They start selling tickets at midnight, and they're sold out before the next morning.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's over 2,000 to 3,000 women. Drunk women buy
drunk witches
everything. Drunk witches buy everything.
They do.
They sold us out. Like they had all of our.
We had 4 totes.
Yeah, I had 4 totes.
And we left with one.
I left with a half a tote. So yeah, we do like in October we got Witches Night Out. We have the Metaphysical Fair, and then we have the Apple Butter Festival, which is huge in Kimmswick too.
Yeah.
And so it's like my 3 weekends are booked in October already.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, we want you to be at their Paracon. We want you to do this.
What weekend is it? And they say, we're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. I've got somebody helping me with marketing and events and stuff like that. I've got Bridget helping me with that. And she's like, you got to sell your witchy stuff. I'm like, oh, gosh. First of all, do you realize that all my witchy stuff is pretty much custom?
Yeah.
You know, people call me up and go, I have trouble with this. And so I make you something for that. You know, I've got the tarot card readings and stuff like that for most of my stuff. I've got monster spray. I could sell monster spray. I could sell my sage. I could sell my Florida water.
So what's in your monster spray?
No, it's secret. It's a secret formula that is geared to take care of any monster that could possibly engage with a small human being.
Sounds like our booby gone.
That could be it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
our booby gone.
Yeah, I don't have a bottle in here for it, but it's in a spray bottle. It's monster spray, and you know, the kids can. It's like one of the ingredients is lavender because most kids have problems with monsters at night. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So then I've got my Florida water. I've actually got a traditional batch going right now. As well as a traditional batch of sage, but sometimes I can formulate those up for somebody that's having a particular problem. So I formulate it up. So
yeah, our Booby Gone is our cleansing spray. We sell it.
I love it.
Holy water, sage, Palo Santo oil, frankincense, and lemon.
Yeah.
So
holy water to me is bourbon. So what else do you use?
Yeah. That's what we use. A Booby Gone. That's our Booby Gone. So.
Yeah, I love.
And then I make these are our frankincense and myrrh candles.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh,
frankincense
and myrrh. Oh,
we try.
So beautiful.
You haven't lit that in 2 weeks.
Okay, so you got to give me the story of the rag doll because I had one of those rag dolls.
The Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
That was actually given to me from my brother.
Nice.
His ex-girlfriend that passed away. She's passed away and she was older, and he's going through like the basement, and that she had like this one storage area that had like these old cardboard barrels, you know, the old cardboard barrels they used to store stuff in, and he opened it up and she was in it. She's like, she smells old. Like she's
she was in it, not the girlfriend was in it.
No. She was in it.
Got it.
So
got it.
This is turned into a true
This is like
story.
a Raggedy Ann from back in like either the 1950s or so.
She's probably from the 60s because she looks a lot like the one that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, so I haven't taken her. We took her. Did we take her to a haunted location?
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
We just kept her.
I just kept her kind of here.
I'm just gonna let you know right now, she's not haunted.
Yeah,
I got other dolls in the garage that are haunted. So
we keep them in the garage. We don't.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
and I have a couple at the haunted location right now too that are sitting in there.
I don't do haunted dolls.
I don't either.
No.
I sell them too.
I don't do dolls.
I had a Furby come alive in a closet with no
that's
batteries in it, and
that would be cool.
That ended my entire haunted doll.
I don't mess with it.
The one that you don't like.
Oh gosh!
Really?
This was another one.
I hate this one.
This was another one that was in this. This barrel was like I have like 6 dolls. Lauren, it's on the chat. She's found one and she's making it. She's
no. He's missing a hat. He's missing a hat.
He's missing a hat.
He's missing a hat.
Ew, I just don't like this one at all.
Yeah,
he had a hat at one point, and he's missing his hat.
He's got a hard
missing. He's missing some of his clothing too.
He's got.
It's handmade. Like it
looks like his clothes look like they're like it's showing
I can't know. I just know. There's these baby dolls out there right now that look like they're real newborn infants. They look like
no. And I get it why people start get that thing out of my face.
No.
You don't see nothing with him?
So the
He's
reason
sitting in the corner.
So the reason why they started doing those is they did it. I understand why they started doing them, but now they just have them too realistic. And the women that need them, I understand that. And you know what? That is all. If that's what helps you, then that is what helps you.
We gotta give the diamond.
Oh, the
diamond.
Oh, our chat's gonna love that.
A puppy.
Hi.
Oh
yes. This is Diamond, and Diamond's my baby girl. She just went out on her first ghost hunt a couple of weeks ago. And she promptly told me that the building is creepy and I'll spend the rest of the night in my car seat. Thank you very much, Mom.
She said not today.
So this is another
not
thing
today, Mom.
So this is another thing. So I cut the face out and put a skull in the Care Bear.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know if I have one over here. Man, is there one over here?
No. It's in there. That's a backpack.
I'm getting.
Oh. Sure, the backpack.
So this is a backpack
right now. Oh
that's
my
a
God.
backpack.
No.
But yeah.
No.
Those are the kind of things we do.
Those are the things that the drunk witches buy.
Oh man, they buy the crap up. They buy all that stuff, man. They love that. So
we'll just turn it over so everybody can see the little diamond girl. She is.
That's what I want to get a German Shepherd and make her a investigator to go with us everywhere we go.
She was a rescue, and my boyfriend at the time had rescued her because he knew that I wanted to have a dog when I moved to Tennessee. So he kept her for a few months, and when I got here to Tennessee, she moved in with me, and we've been working on getting her out of her shell. Yeah, and one of the things of getting her out of her shell is taking her on investigations with me, and that's what we're doing this year.
There you go.
Now, does your boyfriend go on investigations?
Actually, he's my ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Yes, he is still on. He's still on our investigation. Sorry, everything is all messed
up. No, you're good.
But yeah, he's our resident skeptic, and he and Pam are now dating. And in fact, my entire team is either dating each other or married. So I'm like the only single person on my team.
So how does that work?
I end up being the third wheel quite frequently.
So how does that work that the skeptic is with the woman that sees dead people?
I know, right?
That is crazy.
How does that dynamic work?
Opposites attract, apparently.
Yeah.
he is her protector, and he keeps her safe, and it's amazing because there's times that she'll go traveling and she doesn't know that she's doing it, and he's right there with her. And I just absolutely love the two of them together. It's an energy that is not to be missed, and it's just a lovely thing to see. And so, but he's still Diamond's dad. We had a dog out of wedlock. So, he's always there. I have full custody, but he's always there when I have to travel. So,
that's amazing.
But this year we're starting to do a little more traveling with it. I'm starting to do a little more traveling with the dog. So, yeah.
So if you go to a place, I know it's kind of off topic, but do you prefer to stay at the place, or do you prefer to go to a different place to sleep?
It depends. It really depends on the location and how I'm feeling, because I also have some medical issues. I've got degenerative disc disease, arthritis, and spinal stenosis in all of my lumbar spine. Mm-hmm. So there's times that I need to go away from people and be completely on my own because I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And
or sleep in an actual bed.
Sleep in an actual bed, sleep someplace where I can be comfortable, because you don't want me being a raging maniac. No. So a lot of times I will stay at the location, mm-hmm. but there's times that I need to step away and be on my own. Yeah. And that's the thing that we have to all remember when we're investigating, is that the investigations aren't us. We are just merely, it's somebody going out there investigating the location. We have to take care of ourselves. So, yeah. And I'll leave the staying overnight to people that can actually sleep on the hard floors.
I've had two crappy nights. I've stayed at two places, and I've had the two awful sleeps in my lifetime at these two places. So I don't do it. No. I'm like, I will buy it. Yeah, I'm just like,
I will go out and get a hotel. Yeah.
The one place I did stay, I had to sleep on a floor. It was the hardwood, old, like Victorian floor, and I'm okay. I don't want to ever sleep on the floor again.
I would have greatly gave you the bed for the incident that I had.
You know what? I would have taken it. I was. Do you not see my situation on the floor?
I got woken up in the middle of the night and saw a big black shadow standing over me, like reaching for me, and I screamed like a girl. Like I screamed, and then I closed my eyes and went back to sleep, and I thought it was a dream. And the next day, there was two beds in the room. And two single beds, and it was a doll room. It was like a kid's doll room. Mm-hmm. And it was four of us. So me and another guy had one bed, and he had the other bed. And then Madison and her brother slept on the floor. And it was cold. So everybody was kind of,
Oh, I was blanket, pillow, hoodie wrapped around the head, earbuds in, and on the floor.
Oh.
You know how you could see things moving underneath the door when the door's closed?
Oh, God. Oh, you guys froze. I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen. You guys are frozen. Shall we wait? We should. It's actually 8:15. Almost. They're frozen. They're completely frozen. Don't know where they went. Maybe I'm frozen. I really just don't know it. Oh, this is going to get interesting. How long do you sit and wait for them to come back? Looks as though our hosts have lost their connection. So I guess this oh, there they are. Kind of. They're trying. They're really trying. You're going to be really happy it's not the Kelly hour, because then we get really weird. They're trying. They're trying. They're trying to come back on. So let's see. My life began long time ago. in the back end of a Volkswagen Beetle on a dark morning. No, actually, I was born at night. So on a dark night, they're trying again. They're really trying. They're really trying. They're trying hard. We have to at least conclude the podcast. So when you're talking about ghosts, what exactly is it that scares you? Is it the jump? Is it the fact that you're dealing with something that's not there? Hey, hello.
So sorry, our Wi-Fi, it might happen again. Our Wi-Fi, this is the second week it's happened where it gets to a certain point in the podcast and it just
Well,
out
I kept the show going. So welcome to the Kelly Show.
Thank you. We're so glad to be here on the Kelly Show.
I know, it's awesome. So what exactly made you guys become ghost hunters?
Yeah. Oh man,
see, that's what you get on this podcast.
That's what you get on this podcast.
Is if you don't have a podcast, then we let you become a podcaster.
Yeah,
because we just disappear.
Oh man, and we usually
when
we first started
baptism by fire.
When we first started this podcast, we used to have to warn our guests every single time. Like, look, so we stopped warning them because everything was fine.
I improved it. I improved the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I got better Wi-Fi, and then for like
this is the second week in the room.
Since we improved the Wi-Fi like 7 months ago.
Yeah,
we've never had a problem.
Nope, never. Completely.
And then last week we had a problem, and it was maybe it's podcasters. Because they were a podcast group.
And now
see, it must be a podcast. Because we had haunted chronicles.
If it was me that popped out, I would have said it's Verizon Wireless, but it wasn't me, so
no, because everyone was like,
oh man,
they just took over the show last week when we couldn't get in. They were like, "Hey, welcome to Horror Chronicles."
Which
our
is
chat was just talking up with them and everything.
And Stacy, that's my mom. She's in the other room, so that's who she was talking to you about. She was like, "It's happened before. They'll be back."
I didn't hear anything. I heard nothing on your end. I was the only.
Oh no, you're good.
So enjoy.
So back to the story so they were laying on the floor and they could see like underneath the door.
Mm-hmm.
They could see movement up and down the hallway, shadows.
Because we left the light on.
They said and they could hear things like the floor. You could hear the floor creak in and feel it.
Yeah.
So my son said, "Hey, turn on some like music, something just so it's not quiet." And our buddy Doug turned on white noise. He's like, "Well, this puts me to sleep." I'm like, "Doug, we're not asking you to bring it to us."
It's the same, like it's identical to our freaking Phasma box that we were just playing with earlier.
What are you doing?
Turn it off.
Well, yeah, I woke up and screamed, and then the next morning, Doug's like, "Dude, what happened to you? You like screamed like a little girl." I'm like, "Damn, that wasn't a dream." And I'm like, "And what did you do?" He's like, "Oh, I just curled up even more and just rolled over when you screamed. I didn't even want to look." I was like, "Yeah." So
they weren't.
That wasn't the greatest. That was my first time ever sleeping in a haunted location, and it wasn't good.
Hey, who knows? They might have came over to me first, but I was all tumbled up. They were never getting to me.
If you take like your teddy bear or your favorite pillow, wherever it is, that you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The second time I went to a place, I just don't get solid sleep.
No.
I guess things running through my head.
Your ears are, even if you try to, your ears are always perked up and trying to listen.
I call it awake sleep.
Yeah.
You hear everything going on, but you are sleeping.
Yeah.
If you opened your eyes, you see everything that's going on, but you are sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I call it awake sleep, and it's not fun.
And that's the kind of sleep I had when I saw the thing. Like, I had that feeling like, oh my God, I can't fall asleep. Like if I open my eyes, I can see things, but I know that soundly, I wasn't like next morning, I wasn't like so tired, like I was up all night or nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't.
And we're people that we need our sleep.
I that's why I asked that question. I love to ask that question. Like, do you prefer to sleep in the location?
Yeah.
Or, I know. I prefer sleep.
Yeah.
I prefer
especially
sleep.
If you're going to do like a 2-day or 3-day. Like we have a 4-day going up.
Yeah, I haven't done a 2-dayer yet. I've only done a 1-day. So
you'll definitely need your sleep.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, we got.
I don't know what that's going to involve, but it's going to be a situation where I'm going to need to have an RV out back where I go in and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to West Virginia.
I'm very protective of my sleep.
Oh yeah, you got to.
You got to.
Got to. Yeah, we're going to West Virginia for 5 days.
Yeah.
We're
West
doing
Virginia's beautiful.
Yeah, we're doing like the Mothman on Wednesday, the Lake Shawnee, Trans-Allegheny. Then we're taking a day off just to get some sleep. And then Sunday we're like Sweet Spring. So that's going to be quite of a hangover. That's going to happen. Yeah. I can't imagine.
And then we come back and then we lose our sleep penitentiary.
And I'm finding that the older that you get, the more downtime you need after an investigation.
Yeah.
I'm about 2 days.
I'm a full day now. It used to be like a half day. I was fine. If I woke up around noon, I was okay. But now it's like, nope, fuck you, I'm out.
I'm coming home on Sunday.
The charts for today.
Don't one bother me on Sunday when I drive home.
Nope, done.
I'm not going nowhere. I might get up, eat my jammies, and just watch TV, but I ain't going nowhere.
I don't know how I used to go travel 2 hours after coming home and getting like a couple hours of sleep. I have no idea. I used to do that after investigations. I'd go back and I'd go to Springfield, and I don't know how I ever did that.
When you were dating that guy in Springfield,
yeah.
I can tell you how that is.
Because she's 20.
You're young.
But now I need a day because I feel like I'm hungover the next day. I'm like, I don't want to.
You're young.
So
wait until every single inch of you hurts when you get out of bed.
Yeah.
My legs hurt the most.
Hey, I do have knee pain, okay? That's just from catching for 12 years of my life.
That's my biggest thing. Is like I get out, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like walking through like I'm like a mummy. What would be your favorite piece of equipment to use?
Right now the favorite piece of equipment that I use is probably the thermal imaging camera. I really enjoy that one because I caught one of the best pieces of evidence ever on it. And two, it's just so easy to use and so definitive as to what it gets.
Yeah.
There's no faking what a thermal imaging camera gets.
Yeah.
So it's unflappable.
So I'm gonna ask you this then on this because I had borrowed a buddy. Chuck is in here. He had one of the flares, one of the big, and I had taken it on an investigation because I've never used one. I wanted to, and we were in a room, and I had this rocking chair was glowing.
Oh, nice.
But nothing else in the room was glowing. The rocking chair was like glowing, but there was not an image on it or nothing. So like I couldn't tell
it had
why.
A hidden signature all in and of itself.
Yeah, it was. So I don't know. Was that attachment or was that something that I mean, I've never really played with one, so I couldn't.
I would say when was the last time somebody sat in the rocking chair because the wood can actually.
Oh, we were the first ones upstairs. That night.
So if nothing had been in the rocking chair, I'd be hard pressed to debunk that one out.
Yeah, it was just weird that it was like the bed. You could see the bed and everything else, and that rocking chair was just glowing, orange and red. It was. Yeah, and I would take it away and bring it back and turn it off.
Oh, wait! Was it in the sunshine?
No, it was nighttime.
Okay, no, but had it been in the sunshine?
No, we'd started by like 9:00 at night or something. So it would have been
because the rocking chair could actually have retained the energy. So you have to find out how long it had sat outside of the sun. Yeah, because it'll retain the energy.
I don't even think there was a
window.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the room setup. If we even had the blinds open or not. Anything. I'd have to go back and look at that now.
Yeah. Think about that because it's not that somebody sat in it. It could be that it was just in the sun for the entire day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, I was like, man, that is so weird.
Yeah.
Like that rocking chair is glowing.
Now, if there's no windows in there, well then.
Yeah.
Then you got something you might want to look at.
Well, and that's the thing that I'm thinking of is the drapes and they were closed because I don't remember none of the windows being open and stuff like that.
Have to see.
That was weird. Okay. I'm probably never going back there. So it was the Asher Walton house.
It's the same thing with the Ghost of the Green Dot. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, I got a green orb in my photos." No, you don't. You actually have the reflection of a light source. But there wasn't anything out there. But yet, I'm looking at a flashlight at a street light. I'm like, yeah, you do have a light source. You got to look at everything when you're doing it. And photography is one of the things that I specialize in when it comes to debunking, because both my parents were professional photographers. And so I spent a lot of time in photography studios looking at negatives and photographs and people and all that kind of stuff. So I love debunking photographs.
So to ask question to that, then so a lot of the old photos that people have with spirits in them, are they just because of the camera was not as technically, or I mean, if
you have to look at the negative.
Was it the negative? Do you have to look at the negative?
You got to look at the negative.
So have you come across any of those when you were younger that you saw?
None that I saw when I was younger, but I did get sent one that was not in a negative. It was a digital photograph, and the first thing I did was I flipped it over to a negative. I flipped it over, so what I saw on the image was what I would see as a negative, and that showed everything I needed to see on that one. I'm like, yeah, you got something. Because when you had the photograph on normal stuff, it was okay. It was like, I might see what you see. But then if you flipped it over to negative, you changed the picture over to you reversed it, you could actually see the image that they were going for. And they actually caught something.
Oh, wow.
Just send her the picture of Doug's and see.
Yeah.
Oh, send it. But I need it in original raw form.
It was taken on a phone. That's the only problem.
Yeah, as long as it's sent from the phone that took it, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I don't talk to that person.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, that's usually what I run into.
Legit.
That's what I run into. Oh, it's not my phone. Oh, it's not this. Oh, it's like, I need the raw data.
Yeah. I think he's getting it. He blew it up.
Oh, wow. Enlarged it even.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get
we take this because it's like, it's a really cool picture. So the main picture down. So the big picture is.
Are we looking at that person on the second level?
Yeah. Yes. So that's blowing up.
Yeah, that's blowing up. Yeah. You definitely got something there.
This side is the top.
If that can be debunked and there was no investigators on that level at
that
time, I would say that's an actual.
Yeah, and it's not active. It's not an active prison at all.
Yeah, it's not an active prison, and we showed them the picture, and they said that was the stripes that they wore, and the hat he wore. Yeah. He's got a hat on. That's the hat they used to wear when they worked the fields and did the stuff they did outside.
Yeah,
and see if I can.
Yeah.
But he had taken that picture. He was running late before he was about to split up into groups. They were doing an event, and he just turned around and took a picture, just snapped it, and wasn't even paying attention. And then posted it on Facebook like, "Oh, I'm working in general population tonight." Snapped the picture and then he sent it, and we're like, "Did you see what you captured?" That's like, "Did you not see what's on your picture?" And we were blowing up his phone, and he's like, "Why are they blowing up my phone?"
Like, what is going on?
He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, you caught an apparition on your phone, man." It's like, people have asked him to like, can we use your picture in a book? And he's like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "Well, you'll have to sign that away. That'll be our picture then." And I was like, "Don't ever do that, dude. That picture is your once."
That's your picture.
Sign them off. Yeah, don't sign them off. That's your intellectual property. Let's see here. I've got a couple. There's my pair of photos.
I'll go through kind of a little bit.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can present this or not.
Philly said West Coast of the house.
Yep. West Coast.
Gina said, she said this a long time ago, but she said, can't stay, but wanted to say hi. Have a good podcast, guys. Thank you. Mom was in here saying that happened before Wi-Fi. Night Song Paranormal said,
Hey, Barbie!
Barbie here, finally got home. Hello,
Barbie's
hello.
in the house.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah, we were just talking about you.
Oh,
All
of
good
course
things,
she's
all
gonna
good
show
things.
up. She's my girl.
We love them.
Yeah, we love them. They
So
were
I've got one, and I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna hit the present button, and we're gonna see if something happens here.
Okay.
Okay.
I hit the present share screen.
It might mute us too. I'm not too sure.
It might. Nope, that's the one I want right there.
Hey, friends.
I think you guys might need to turn it on.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, so this is the photograph that I caught at the Randolph Asylum.
Hey, we're going there in August.
Yeah.
And I'm going back in 2 weeks. This started out as a black column in the middle of the hallway, and then the column split into 2 white columns. And then the white columns started forming what you see here. And there are no investigators with a flashlight down that hallway.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you got to see that.
I watched it form, and I'm shaking, and the guy behind me was just holding on to me going, Kelly, hold on to it. Kelly, hold on to it. Kelly, hold on to it. There was a guy off on the left going, there's nothing down the hallway, Kel. There's nothing down the hallway. Keep going. Keep going. And it was a good, I think probably this entire thing was like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the reason why I like thermal cams.
Yeah. That's really cool. Oh,
yeah.
Barbie said, we love y'all too. We are so bummed we are not gonna. She said, we are so bummed we're not gonna be able to town when you are. Rain check for a collab 2025. Lots of fun. Yeah. We're definitely gonna be planning something with them.
She's coming to Brushy with us, so we're very excited to have Night Song with us. Yeah. Brushy is going to be 5 or 6 teams that are coming together to do Brushy, and we're very, very, very excited for this event.
Yeah. No.
When are you guys doing Brushy?
We're doing Brushy on the 12th and the 13th of July. We actually rented out Brushy for 2 nights, and this will be my first 2-nighter. This will be my first 2-nighter.
Good luck.
But we also have an Airbnb down the road that sleeps 16 people. So
there you go.
And it may be haunted. We're not sure yet. So we're gonna find out.
It might be a 48 hour.
It might be a 40-hour investigation, right? Yeah.
So next year we'll just have to do a collab with you guys and
please do. We are totally open to collabs with all kinds of different teams.
Yeah.
We work with pretty much everybody. As long as you understand that we're not going to jump on the whole paranormal train, we're good with that.
Hey, we're good with that too.
Yeah, we're good.
we love it when our investigation turns out to where we're going to go, yeah, that's paranormal. Yeah, that's haunted. But we are very slow to do it, and we take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you get the real evidence that you have.
Now, how far are you guys? Are you from Nashville?
We're actually in Portland, Tennessee, which is about 45 minutes north of Nashville, and absolutely love this area. It's reaped in history, and
you should come down and see us then.
I should. I really should. I haven't been to Missouri.
We'll be in Tennessee in 2 weeks.
Oh, will you? You're going down to where are you going to be again?
We'll be at the fairgrounds in Nashville.
I will be up in Randolph.
Oh, that's right. You're going to Randolph. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was saying,
we're at Randolph.
We're there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the expo, the KC Metaphysical Fair.
Yeah,
I'm heading up early because I get to meet a boyfriend for a while.
Well, there you go.
You get to meet a boyfriend.
I get to meet a boyfriend. It'll be fun.
That is fun.
Yeah, there you go. What's your question?
Oh, my question. What is the most scariest place or scariest moment that you've had being an investigator?
Another easy one for me. It would be at the Hotel Leisure. People call it Leisure, but he was French, so it's Leisure. Hotel Leisure in Mokelumne Hill, California, where we ran into a doppelganger that was not very nice.
Ooh.
And it ended up infecting one of my teammates. And at that point, I was in over my paycheck. So, or my pay grade. And I said, I need to get somebody I need to call somebody to get us out of this.
Yeah.
And I had to call some witch friends of mine to get us out of it.
Wow.
So
that's,
yep.
That's pretty
well,
scary.
It wasn't scary for me, the situation. It was scary for me because somebody else had gotten affected.
Yeah.
Somebody else had gotten hurt from it. And that, to me, that raises a whole big, huge red flag for me. It's like, nope. So now it is firm. If you come onto site to do investigation, you must have your spiritual protection on. If you do not, you will not be allowed admittance. It's not happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I ain't dealing with that no more.
Nope, not dealing with that no more.
I don't play that. I don't play her.
Homie, don't play that game.
So what would you say? What would you say, hands down, is your most favorite and you love to go to all the time?
Place.
Right now, it's the Randolph.
Really? I'm so intrigued right now because everybody's been talking about Randolph. Like,
there's something there, and I'm really looking forward to this next round because, one, I've got the experience from the first time I was out there, and then I've heard other people talking about it, and I'm going in with somebody who's I'm going in with my boyfriend who's equipped with the equipment to go out there and investigate this. So we're very, very, very much involved in this. Yes, please.
I'm excited now.
I'm excited now. We'll be there at the end
you should be. The Randolph is something that's out of the ordinary, and do not cut it short because our experience happened at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So don't cut it short. Stay the entire time because you might actually get something that you can use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Everybody's
now.
been talking about
Everyone's been talking about it.
I've seen it a lot on TikTok lately. There's a lot of people been going lately to Randolph County and stuff like that. And I try to watch them, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch them and see their.
Don't. Just ask them where they went, because I can tell you that the basement is active.
Yeah.
And everything else wasn't so active for me.
So are you two just going by yourselves, or you got a whole team going with you?
Oh no, we're doing a remake of the team that was there in October when I caught that one image. Okay. So with the exception that I now have a friend with me, so
yeah. She's not third wheeling.
She's not third wheeling it no more.
No, it's a long distance relationship. I'm cool with it. Yeah.
I get to see what I want to. It's like, it's not an everyday thing. Exactly. That's great.
I enjoy my privacy. What can I say?
There you go.
There you go. Hey,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. What was I gonna say? How can everybody find your book?
My book is on Amazon. It's available in Kindle and hardback and softback. We're also trying to work on an audio portion of it. I'm also looking if anybody's interested in putting it into like a mini series. I'd be very much interested in talking about that. But it's on it's Amazon. I don't know how much the Kindle is. At one point it was $0. I was one of those free books, but it's $17.99 for the soft copy and $22.99 for the hard copy. And if you order it from me, I will sign it and send it to you.
Oh wow!
Nice.
If you order it on Amazon, you're gonna have to catch up with me.
Hook her up with Santiago.
Yeah,
he's in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Santiago Cerullo. He played on The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Oh,
Yeah.
one of my favorite shows.
And he's an amazing person.
Cynthiana, Kentucky is the birthplace of The Walking Dead. I went out and did the Rose Theater, and I would love to be there for their festival every year because Walking Dead was just a great show.
Yeah.
That's coming up,
awesome.
isn't it? Isn't that coming up at
Yep.
the end of
It's
he's
coming
gonna
up.
be there.
It's coming
I
up.
just saw him post something about it. So
yeah, he'll be there.
He played
Yep.
Julio. Oh, we don't have a picture. He played Julio on season 4.
Ah, I love
and
it.
stuff like that. He is. Oh my god, he does a lot of the bullying and anti suicide awareness and stuff.
Good. Right up my line.
I believe he tried to commit suicide 8 times, something like that. And he was
8.
Yeah, he has got PTSD
Wow.
and he writes books and does movies, and we met him at a Paracon, and his energy is just
we love him.
His energy is crazy.
We had him on our podcast, and one of my favorite podcasts ever because it was he's just an amazing person.
His energy is just like he talks about it. He goes off. His ADD just goes off, and it's it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
We'll see him.
That is so awesome.
They got a thing in Jonesboro, or not Jonesboro, Paragould, Arkansas. They have a convention this week, July. We're going to.
Yeah, so we're
excited. Good.
But you're in Brushy that weekend. July.
I'm in Brushy.
12th, yeah. So
I'm in Brushy
Paranormal Horror Festival.
Yeah.
I asked because a couple of friends of ours are going to Brushy. I think a couple of weeks or something like that. That's why I was just asking. There was a big group of them are going.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, there's going to be 24 people that are going.
You got 24 going?
I got 24 people on 2 nights. Yep, 12 the first and 12 the second.
Man.
Wow.
We're going to West Virginia Penitentiary. That's another one.
That's our
I love
one.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You've been to there?
That's awesome. No, I haven't been there. You got to remember that I was West Coast for most of my adventures, and I just became East Coast, Middle, Central, whatever you want to call it, in 2021. Midwest, Midwest, Central, Eastern in 2021. So I came back home. Yeah, I was raised on the West Coast and spent a great many of my years out there. But then I came out to the Midwest. I was born in Iowa, so I came out home. I came back home, and there is something about this area that just makes me feel alive.
There you go.
The one guy I was like when Philly came on. Philly, he's from the West Coast. He's from California.
Yeah,
he's our one lone West Coast watcher that always comes on our thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
so.
Cool.
How can everybody find you? What's your socials?
I'm on Facebook with Kelly Shaffer, and I'm also K2 Paranormal Research, as well as Kelly's Haunted Adventures. And then my sideline, which is a little bit custom work, is TBW Apothecary, which stands for the Blonde Witch Apothecary. Mm-hmm. And I do custom witchcraft for people, as well as tarot cards, and then tarot card readings. Dogs barking is something which is unusual. And then also Instagram. So. Oh, and then the Cemetery Files, the Paranormal Triangle. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. You just look me up and there I am.
There you go. Well, there you go.
Well, we appreciate you coming on very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my God, I was so glad that I'm available. That was awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we'll get together, you guys, a night song.
Yeah.
We'll do a collab. Yeah.
Yeah, collabs. Yeah, every time.
And if you're in this area or you're close, just let us know. We're always around. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
We have our own building we get to investigate. I have keys to our own
building. Cool.
Yeah, that's what I was. If you heard earlier, we're moving our podcast to that building.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
So we'll be doing our podcast from a lot.
Awesome. There goes the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi just glitched on you again. Uh-oh.
There we go. There we go.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me. All right.
Of course. Bye. Have a great night.
All right. So the Wi-Fi only messed up a little bit that time.
Guys.
Just a little bit. Sorry.
Just a little bit. All righty.
So just to breathe over again what 2 weeks. Next week we'll have the gentleman from the Lots house in Battleground.
Yep.
He'll be talking about that location.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be in Nashville next weekend, the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Come see us at the Galactic Expo.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a huge metaphysical fair.
Mm-hmm.
Road trip, if you want. Then we're going to be doing some local things here in St. Louis. We got a couple of like antique malls and some businesses. Like I said, at the school. I'm going to go do a school and stuff like that, and maybe find some different places. The Elks Lodge, we can go up there and investigate and try to find some other events, local events. I know we've been talking with See a Ghost and working with some things. So and check out seeaghost.com if you want to take a tour to see Maddie at the Limp Mansion, or if you want to go to the Alton YMCA. YWCA, I'm sorry. Seeaghost.com. You can buy tickets there. Go see Nicole and Mark. The bartender last night that trained me, she was at your first YWCA. She was there. Janelle was her name. She knows exactly who you were.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was at that that was her birthday investigation. The very first one, because she said there was a lady walking around filming for YouTube. And I was like, oh, do you remember the short little girl, the short girl with long black hair? And she's like, yeah. I was like, that's my daughter. She said that Mark had 2 women working, and I knew it was you and Nicole.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So, so See a Ghost. They could do, you can follow him. He does seances. It's been weird lately. He's been taking weird, like, live drives through East St. Louis on live.
That's what he used to do before he did the paranormal.
Yeah.
He used to go and
do and say things. It's kind of cool. I watched them one night, but if you want to check it out. If not, Strawberry Festival, June 1st. Come see us in Kimswick.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then Troy Taylor's
American
Hauntings in June too. That's coming around the corner. That's our next 2 after the Lots and stuff like that. So
just a quick Night Song said, yes, I'm all about a collab. We can do a road trip to you as well. Mal said, I'm very late. It's all right, Mal. Hey, you can go back and rewatch it. It's all good, girl. Night Song said, that darn Wi-Fi will get you every time. Glad I got to get on and catch the last half hour. Yeah, it's been weird.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is. Hopefully the Wi-Fi is going to be good at the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because we're going to be the only ones on it at that time. So it should be really good and everything like that. So May 25th, if you want to come down to the mansion and help us set up the podcast studio, the more the merrier. We're going to have drapes to be hung up. We got some really cool things to get together.
Yeah.
And everything like that. Come in and hang out. Probably going to order some pizza.
Yeah.
Have a meal, hang out. And I noticed too, though, what's going to be really cool is we need to figure it out. Maybe I know Nicole has an extra TV. We can actually have people come down to the studio and hang out during the podcast.
Yeah.
Like you could actually come down and see, like, hang out live with us.
Yeah.
At the podcast and not, instead of just like you can see us talk back and forth. I mean, you gotta be quiet.
Yeah, you gotta be quiet. That's the only thing. You won't be like on the podcast.
But you can come down and chill out and hang out with us. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
We'll put a TV where you can see what's going on. And
if there's no guests, they can sit in the guest chair.
Yeah, there's no guests. You can sit in the guest chair, the couch.
Yeah, the couch, the guest couch.
The guests get a couch.
But no.
If you want to volunteer to help and come out and hang out with us, we will do a ghost hunt that night at the mansion when we're done and everything. So what?
Mal said, sorry, I've been so busy. All good. She said, I just heckled Dan the whole time.
Yeah, she just gives me trouble. She ignored me that one, my 900 number lady there, because when we're on our TikTok lives and we're talking, she's like, "Hello, everybody. My name is Mal." Because she has a roommate next door, so she has everything is whispered. I'm like,
that's funny.
But check us out next week. Hey, tell your friends. We need to get our followers up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Where everybody's kind of stopped following us, and so spread it out to us today. You want to follow? We're going to be putting out some videos for that.
Yeah.
We need to get our Facebook followers. and everything, and our subscribers again. We're still at that 435.
Yeah.
We cannot get to that 500 mark and stuff. So yeah, tell everybody to follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Give us a like, follow, and everything like that. Anything else?
Mouse said, I did not ignore you.
Uh-huh.
All right. But with that, folks, you heard it here.
Stay spooky. See you next